To you with the perfect 1-carat diamond gift from Riddle's Jewelry.
Located in Gateway Mall.
Go ahead, let it sleet, let it slush, and let it snow. Because the pros at T.O. Haas Tire are ready to help you with a new set of tires guaranteed to get you through it all. Like the complete line of Michelin tires, including the X-Ice Snow Tire. And right now, you can get $70 back when you buy any 4 new Michelin tires at the T.O. Haas Tire near you.
T.O. Haas, Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary are with you today. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How are you doing, man?
I am fantabulous.
That's good.
I don't know why, but I just got this burst of energy like 10 minutes ago. So
I wouldn't even say 10 minutes ago. It's been
it's fun right now.
It's been the last 5 minutes while we were getting ready to come into the studio.
A lot of yelling. We're just getting ready for the show. And it's not like we were yelling at each other. We're just yelling.
No. I mean, there's been days.
There have been days where I've hated you. That's true.
Yeah. When I first started, I need to know your true opinion of me. When I first started,
let's get to the show. We don't have to talk about our feelings.
I'm curious. I'm always curious on that stuff.
But the first time I ever met you was at that 4th of July party.
No. First time I came in here. Yeah, first time I came here.
I only knew you from Megan. Shout out Megan.
Okay.
That is the only place I knew you through. And I was just like, yeah, it's one of Megan's friends. I don't care.
How long did it take you to
warm up to you and think hey, this guy's kind of cool?
Like be friends?
Probably last week.
Yikes. As always, 402-464-5685.
It took a little bit.
The Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you all hour long, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. It's going to kind of be a loaded show. We're going to kind of bounce from a couple things nonstop. I'm curious where you guys are at in terms of drinking the Kool-Aid. Maybe we talk about that a little bit, because I know a lot of people, talking to some people outside of the sports media world, they're in the prove it mode. They want to wait and see. Mm-hmm. But then, judging by reactions on Twitter, it's Nebraska's back.
Based off of certain announcements,
yeah,
and certain implied thoughts of certain people, whether that be coaches or players. Nebraska is back based on the internet sleuths.
Yeah. So I want to dive into that. I want to talk about how different the defense is going to look next year, because I think, and I've kind of talked about it a little bit, a lot of people are overlooking that this team is going to look pretty different next year. You're going to have some of those staples, but think about it. A guy like JoJo Domann is gone.
Been here forever.
Adrian Martinez, gone. You have guys in the secondary that have been here, gone.
Deontay, Markel, Cam Taylor-Britt.
So it's going to look quite a bit different now with Feldarius Payne even entering the transfer portal and everything. I mean, it's going to look quite a bit different. So the show is not going to be, I'm going to try my best to not make it down in the dumps or negative, because I want to leave it open for interpretation from you guys, 402-464-5685. But I kind of want to take a step back and put things into perspective about where Nebraska football is. We might have a little bit of a bigger picture discussion when it comes to football and basketball, because now it seems like we can tie those two things together. We may be able to do it where Scott Frost and Fred Hoiberg are now kind of in a similar situation. And if you would have asked anybody 3 years ago, they would say that would not be the case right now in 2021, 2022.
No.
And it's kind of alarming. Nebraska volleyball.
I mean, if you would have asked people at the end of last year, like
Yeah.
basketball season or getting closer to the beginning of this year's basketball season, if I were to tell you Fred Hoiberg and this basketball team are 5-6, 5-5,
5-5,
going to Atlanta to take on Auburn, and their
Maybe.
last game was a blowout on their home court, people would be like, no, I don't believe that, because this team was supposed to be not the team, but this was supposed to be a much more talented team, a much better team than Fred Hoiberg has had since his time at Nebraska. And this was supposed to be a team that, finished the season. And granted, there is still a lot of season left,
Yes.
but if you're basing your opinions off of one really terrible game, this was supposed to be the team that's supposed to finish over 500 and not get into the NCAA tournament, but maybe get some type of consideration as maybe a bubble team.
Well, and I think you don't even,
or maybe in the NIT.
I don't even think you take just last game into your opinion. I think you put every game this season, into all 10 games this season, into a pot, and that's where you gather your opinion from. That's how I'm doing it personally. And either way, it doesn't really change a whole lot.
I mean, if I take all of the games, that they've played this season and put them all together and try to make my opinion based off of that, I am more worried than I was at the beginning of the season, but I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not thinking this is the end of the basketball season and this team is cursed and they'll never win again. I mean, that game looked bad. It looked terrible, but you've seen games where not the entire team shoots well, but you've had players who have shot better than they did 2 nights ago.
Yeah, and I don't think it's time to hit the panic button on Nebraska basketball. I want to make that very clear. Because here's another thing. And this is one thing that we can say that both the basketball and football program have in common, is that on paper, this was their season. Like Husker basketball, this was their season to make a move, and we all believed, and that belief can still be there. It's just not as smooth of a start to the season as we were all expecting or hoping for. And then with football, you can argue that this last season, once again, Scott Frost's best opportunity on paper to make a move in the Big Ten West. The Big Ten West was down this season, especially at the beginning, towards the middle parts of the season. Towards the end, Wisconsin started picking up the pace a little bit, and Iowa
started strong and kind of limped to the finish. They limped their way into the Big Ten championship game, and you saw what happened there. Wisconsin started bad and kind of finished strong. Purdue started bad and finished strong. Minnesota's been up and down the entire season, especially after losing Mohamed Ibrahim in the very first game. Northwestern was just bad all season. Illinois started strong with a win against Nebraska, and then was pretty bad and mixed in a couple pretty surprising wins into their season, but mostly not a great season. But it is Brett Bielema's first season up at Illinois, so he's got to pass that.
It wasn't a bad season though. First year for Illinois, they won a hard fought game against Penn State. They beat Nebraska in week 0. Those are wins that you can point to. Obviously, they didn't back it up in that week 1 game against UTSA. I think they played. I can't remember who they played. They played somebody.
They lost
at home.
Group of 5 team.
Yes. Anyway. But I mean, it's wild to look at the parallels between the basketball program and the football program right now, because on paper, this season, these 2 seasons between the 2 programs were supposed to be the best and the biggest in parts or seasons of improvement and stuff translating to wins that you have had in the last 4 years or 3 years if you're Fred Hoiberg. And unfortunately, it just hasn't translated. And so it's wild to see the parallels about how everything's kind of not necessarily falling apart, but just not coming to fruition for both programs.
Both programs have had their best teams on paper or on the roster. If you just look at the roster, both teams are extremely talented and should. The football team should have done more with what they had. The basketball team should be doing more with what they have. You've heard from players and coaches of both teams how amazingly talented they are and how they've taken great steps forward from where they were last season. And both programs, the football team throughout the entire season and the basketball team up to this point have failed to meet the expectations that they themselves have put forward for the fans and the media and just for themselves to reach.
Well, and now looking at Nebraska basketball going forward, they have Auburn on Saturday morning at 10:30 from Atlanta, which now with them having an illness within their program, within their team.
Wilhelm Breidenbach down with a knee injury that will keep him sidelined for multiple games.
Obviously, Trey McGowan is not healthy. I want to step aside from that and say how much we all should respect Trey McGowan's, because yesterday, I don't know if you heard Rico, he came on one-on-one and at 3:30, and he was just like, listen, like, yeah, obviously it's not going as well, but like, I'm going to be back January 5th. That's what their target date, it sounds like, is. Mm-hmm. So you have to go with another, almost a full month without Trey McGowan's, but you have the Christmas break in there, which will provide a break in some games and some action there. But either way, I mean, that's a leader, and that's what we get off the text line is we need more Trey McGowan's aggressive type players. I haven't seen anyone attack the hoop like him since he's been out. I will say this last game, Alonzo Verge provided that.
Alonzo Verge attacks the rim every single game. Some people have called him a ball hog for it, but that's part of his game, is attacking the hoop, drawing the defense in after he makes a couple layups, a couple tough shots, and then he'll start passing it around to the rest of the team. But he attacks the hoop. The only thing with him is he's not as big, and he's not going to dunk it on people like Trey McGowan does. He goes up as strong as he can, but he is more slight of frame than McGowan's is, so he's getting knocked around and not getting any fouls called on him because they're like, oh, he's small, he's going up against big guys, that's just going to happen. But the way that he's getting hit when he's throwing these shots up, he needs to be shooting more free throws. Like the refs need to be calling more fouls for him, but they're not. So right now he's going to the rim as hard as he can, attacking the rim as aggressive as he can, but he's getting knocked around so much that sometimes the shots aren't going in, sometimes they do go in. He should be getting many and ones, but he's not. So once Trey McGowan comes back, not only do you have a more aggressive on-ball offensive player, but you have a guy who, on the defensive side of things can be your stopper, can be your, we need you to lock this guy down and maybe not lock him down, but slow him down enough where he has to get the ball out of his hands and try to get other people involved. And that'll help the rest of the team work on the defensive end. Because right now, if the team that Nebraska is facing at this current moment has one guy that they go to, they're going to go to him over and over and over, and Nebraska's not going to be able to stop it.
Well, and somebody, and that same person on the text line, 402-464-5685, follows up. That's my point, though. No aggressor to the hoop, not a single player to fear on this team. And I will also say this, and we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it on Tuesday with Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity, is that's just how this team is designed right now.
It's a bunch of shooters.
Your tallest guy, or not your tallest guy with Oleg, but you have a 6'8" guy and Derek Walker, who's really done a phenomenal job this season so far. I would say that Derek Walker, outside of maybe Bryce McGowan's, has impressed me personally the most. And it's not necessarily in terms of like shocking. He hasn't necessarily shocked me, but it's encouraging to see him be able to finish at the rim. And also, I understand the rebounding has been a problem for Nebraska all season. It will continue to be, but almost every single game you see Derek Walker trying to tip it out, trying to do little things like that. This last game against Michigan, didn't shoot a single field goal until the last couple minutes of the game. Obviously you'd like that to be different, but this guy's shooting a high percentage from the field. And obviously he's being very selective on his shots, but Derek Walker is doing everything that you need, everything that you can ask him to do right now at his size in the conference that Nebraska's in.
He's doing things that aren't going to show up on the stat book or statistically, when they're running pick and rolls up top at the top of the key, he's hedging hard. He's hedging hard and keeping these guys from driving to the basket and then getting back on his man. And he's doing his best to prevent anybody from getting the ball extremely low post and in a perfect position to just catch it, turn around and put it in. I mean, when you're going to get somebody that's 7'1", they don't have to get that close to the hoop where they can turn it around and put it in. It's pretty easy for them. So that was just a rough job for him to handle on his own, but he's doing a fantastic job defensively for how undersized he is compared to other posts, down there in the paint. And like you said, on the rebounding on the glass, he's boxing people out with the best of them. He's not going to grab every board. And like Jacob Padilla told us, you're not asking him to grab every rebound. You're asking him to box somebody out and keep them away from getting the rebound while the wings and the guards come in and clean that up and get more rebounds, which is why you see Alonzo Verge with so many rebounds. He's coming down there while while, Lat Mayen and Derek Walker are boxing people out. Those two big guys aren't going to grab the boards because they're trying to keep people away. The guards come down. Bryce McGowan's is getting a couple of boards here and there. Alonzo Verge is getting a couple boards here and there. So they're doing their jobs. Offensively, you're not going to ask a lot from Derek Walker, but you need to get him involved early so that when Alonzo Verge drives to the rim, they can't just crash on him. They have to respect Derek Walker and that little shot that he's got there where he's shooting 70+% from the field.
And I would like to also point out that when we say get him involved, doesn't mean that he needs to shoot 15 shots right from the get-go. It's just get him the ball and work inside out.
Yeah, just get him a couple of touches. He's a great passer from down in the low post as well. It's not just the points that he's going to score. It's also and not even assist. Get a hockey assist where he kicks it out in the corner. You get a nice little pump fake, and somebody tries to come in there. You kick it back out to the top of the key, and somebody hits a nice three.
Well,
but then that comes with knocking down your 3-pointers.
That and it comes with moving without the basketball. Guys have to move without the basketball. And I understand that Fred Hoiberg's offense isn't necessarily one of the traditional types. It's spacing out, it's pace of play and everything like that and hitting your shots. But you still got to find the open spot. You got to find a spot on the hardwood where you can knock down a shot or put yourself in a position where you're far enough from the other guy, one of your teammates, where you can make that extra pass. How many times did Michigan kill Nebraska with an extra pass? How many times earlier this season against other opponents, we have seen opponents kill Nebraska with an extra pass? Creighton was the first one that came to my mind.
You keep moving the ball, at some point, somebody is going to be out of position and asked to guard two people at one time, and they're going to choose wrong, and and you have to make them pay. And that's where the making your shots comes into account. And I understand that the way that this offense is built, it's built on making 3-pointers and getting shots close to the rim. But if your threes aren't falling, take a step in, take 2 steps in, just hit a mid-range, just see the ball go through the hoop, and then maybe you can take a step back and maybe your threes will start to fall. But if you just keep jacking up threes, I mean, at some point you have to figure this is not working. We need to switch something up. And I know, like I said, I know this is the offensive style that this team is accustomed to, that this team is supposed to be running. We're going to shoot a lot of threes. If we don't shoot a lot of threes, or if we don't make our threes, we're going to lose. But just take a step in, hit a mid-range shot. Come on.
Yeah, the tough part about that is you have to be careful not to cross the line where you're asking guys to do things that they're not good at. That's the tough part. And
I mean, if you're a good 3-point shooter,
I'm not blowing smoke up people's butts here, but here's the thing: is when you're asking guys to do things they're not good at, like taking floaters or trying to drive into the hole. These guys, what they're quote unquote good at or best at is shooting the 3 ball. And that is so weird to say right now, especially when you look down at the stat sheet and they were 5 of 35 on Tuesday night from deep. But at some point, I just don't know when this team will be able to. I don't know how this team will be able to reset their confidence, because it all goes back to falling on their training and falling back on their training, like the Husker volleyball program talks about, right? And at some point, I just wonder where the mentality comes into play, where it's just they have not hit very well in the last couple games, and it's a shame.
You just need one game. That's all they need. One game where something goes right.
Yeah.
Even if they lose to Auburn, if they're hitting their 3-pointers, I think that'll go a long way in helping this team turn this season around. And like people are saying, they're 10 games in. The season's not over. You have plenty of games to go, but it doesn't look good right now.
It's just less encouraging than it was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting one. Kool-Aid Man says this: you're a Division I basketball player and you can't hit from anywhere on the court. That's terrible, worthless. It's not the fact that they can't hit from anywhere on the court. It's the fact that they're in the Big Ten Conference, where you're facing up guys from Purdue and Indiana and Michigan every night. And when they're facing up against guys like having Keisei Tominaga drive into the lane in between 2 guys that are 6'8" and 6'9" is not a high percentage shot to where he is best at shooting a step back 3. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Unfortunately, he's better when he has one hand in his face from 3 than when he's driving the lane in between 3 guys that are 4 and 5 inches taller than him and trying to huck up a shot.
I mean, he's good at finishing at the rim, but I'm not going to ask him to drive in between the tall trees.
Bingo. Other things going on today: 402-464-5685. So the NCAA volleyball semifinals, the regional semifinals began today. I know Pittsburgh and Kansas are playing, I believe. Rico and I in the studio here are watching Minnesota and Baylor. It looks like Baylor, the 5 seed, is up on the 12 seed Minnesota 19-17 in the first set.
We had Purdue win the first game of the day, and Louisville won the second game of the day.
Yes. Nebraska, we'll kind of touch on this later on in the show, but Nebraska plays Illinois tonight at 8:30.
So late.
On ESPNU. Do you get ESPNU?
Yes.
That's good.
We have ESPN Plus and all that fun stuff.
Nice work. $4.99 a month.
Oh, we got to Disney Plus package.
Oh,
so we got Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus for like $7 a month or something like that.
I will say this. So going back to Nebraska basketball before we take our first break here and kind of talk about some football stuff on the other side. We mentioned a couple minutes ago that Nebraska, obviously they're dealing with some influenza. It sounds like guys won't be healthy tomorrow on top of the guys with injuries, Breidenbach and Trey McGowan's, obviously. But it sounds like Auburn was dealing with the flu as well this last week. Looking at this comes from Jordan Hill, who's an Auburn blog beat writer down in Auburn, Alabama. It sounds like Bruce Pearl says that they had, quote, a couple guys out with some flu this week, but he expects to be back full speed later today. So both teams and a lot of programs around the country, it sounds like, just reading, are dealing with some sickness, and that's just something that programs will have to fight through. Hey, the way I look at it is Nebraska's still not playing 15 games in 30 days or whatever they played last year.
Yeah.
15 games in 20 some days. Last year, it's still a better one.
Still get some rest in between your games.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a break there. When we come back, let me know. Rico and I kind of want to dive into this. Feldarius Payne entered the transfer portal earlier this week, so that's a little bit of a hit to the outside linebackers room. I want to talk about the defense, what the expectation is for not only the defense but the whole program next year, how different this whole team is going to look with offense, with the hire of Mark Whipple and everything like that. I also want to talk about how much Kool-Aid are you guys already drinking? How much Kool-Aid are Husker fans drinking? Are you in prove-it mode yet in year 5 after you went 3-9? We talked about it the other day where somebody texted in and said Kirk Ferentz would be on the hot seat in Lincoln, but here we were, and we allowed a 3-9 season. And so I want to know where you guys are at. I want to get a gauge, and we'll probably do this every single once a week at least, get a gauge on where the fan base is at, because I'm curious to see how much it'll change with commitments, with guys, that the attrition from Nebraska. I'm curious to see where you guys are at. So 402-464-5685. How confident are you in the way that this Nebraska football program is heading? We'll dive into all that, talking about what is Nebraska's goal for the football program next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Sunny skies expected here for our Wednesday. We'll top out near 48 with a west-southwest wind at 10 to 15. Mostly cloudy skies tonight, maybe a few sprinkles around the area. A low down to around 34. Decreasing cloud cover tomorrow with a high of 53. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're thinking about a new career, improving your job skills, or just continuing your love of lifelong learning, Southeast Community College's Spring Continuing Education Catalog is hitting your mailbox soon. It's chock full of options. Learn how to write a compelling grant application, become a pharmacy tech, or even learn to ride a motorcycle. We even provide the bike. Check out your catalog or go to southeast.edu/continuingeducation. SCC. Your path to possible.
Every time we make the choice to drive, we're making a choice that could have life or death consequences. Friedman Law Offices has proudly sponsored our holiday taxi service for 30 years. This year, we're proud to partner with Z-Trip to keep Lincoln's streets safer. Between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. from December 15th to New Year's Day, you can get a free ride home if you've had too much to drink. Just call 402-474-SAFE or click Let Friedman Drive at friedmanlaw.com. Friedman Law Offices. Helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do.
Go ahead. Let it sleet. Let it slush. and let it snow. Because the pros at T.O. Haas Tire are ready to help you with a new set of tires guaranteed to get you through it all. Like the complete line of Michelin tires, including the X-Ice Snow Tire. And right now, you can get $70 back when you buy any 4 new Michelin tires at the T.O. Haas Tire near you.
T.O. Haas, Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. Our holiday gift card special is back. When you purchase a $50 gift card, receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Man, we sure could use an easy win this season. I hear you. That's why I suggested to the wife that we go to Magical Lights of Seward, the area's largest and most entertaining drive-through Christmas light show. So by suggesting going to Magical Lights of Seward, you got a win? Yeah, my wife said it was the best idea I'd had in a long time. The kids loved the dazzling light show, synced with traditional and modern Christmas music, and we had an affordable, fun family experience. Get your win too by pre-ordering your tickets today at magicallightsofseward.com/ticket.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. On the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, as well as on theticketfm.com. If you go to the top right of the page, it says watch live, and you can, it'll just automatically load the screen. It doesn't even give you like a link. It just automatically loads the screen, and we are good to go.
You can see our beautiful faces.
In the first set, Baylor just scored on Minnesota. It's 24 apiece towards the end of the first set. Baylor
Minnesota only
and
had
Minnesota.
1 set point.
Yes. So this game is on ESPN, Rico?
I believe so.
So this game's on ESPN. Huskers volleyball will play on ESPNU later tonight against Illinois as Minnesota takes a 25-24 lead. But I want to get to your guys' thoughts on the text line. We got a couple of them here. I'm sure we'll get to some more as we go along in this segment. But every week, you guys know this, we have an opportunity to give away some care baskets and care packages courtesy of Beatrice Bakery. This is the time. 402-464-5685. If you have anybody that you would like to nominate, today is our day. We will do it at the beginning of next segment. We'll take in some nominations and we will choose. So tell us who should receive a care basket courtesy of our good friends at Beatrice Bakery, and just give a little bit of a story, a synopsis of why you feel like they need to have a smile put on their face, and we'll be good to go. We will announce that at the beginning of the final segment here on the Happy Hour today.
And here on the Happy Hour, our Beatrice Bakery submissions are mostly centered around community leaders, can be just
Yes.
community involvement. But don't feel bad if you nominate a teacher or a first responder or anything.
Anybody that needs one.
Just anybody that needs a smile put on their face, whether they're having a rough week, whether they're having a good week, and you just want to make their week better. You just send in your submissions at theticketfm.com. We have a Beatrice Bakery gift basket link there where you click on that, you enter the names and the synopsis on why they deserve it, and send that in to us, and we'll go through them, and we'll choose one person this week. And like we said, every show has a day that they do it, and today is the happy hours.
Yes, so 402-464-5685, either on the ticketfm.com. You can send your submission in there. We'll get an email that way, or you can send it in on the text line, or even if you'd like to call in and say it over the phone, we can still remain anonymous, and we'll be good to go. All right. Rico, I was kind of talking to you about this a little bit earlier today when I came in, but I just want to know where people are at on how confident they are in where Nebraska football is headed. And here's the reason. Let me kind of lay it out for you.
Paint me a picture.
Specifically looking at the defense, right? So Feldarius Payne entered the transfer portal on Monday. And here's just the guys that won't be in the locker room already for the defense next season. In the secondary, you're losing Markel Muke, Deontay Williams, and Cam Taylor-Britt. Linebackers, you're losing JoJo and now Feldarius to the portal. Defensive line, you're losing DeAndre Thomas, Damian Daniels to the draft, and Ben Stilley. Now, if you just look at those 3, 5, 8 guys, that's a defense, and this defense as a whole was one that you relied on every single week to keep you in a game because your offense was just not doing good enough in the red zone. In between the 20s, you were just fine. But once they got into the red zone, and we all know their kicker problems, right? Their field goal conversion problems.
It was a struggle.
And so this was a defense that you relied on to not only, I wouldn't even say keep you in ball games, but I would say even win you ball games. That's the way if you were going to win a ball game, the defense needed to play lights out. Especially when you're playing a team like Oklahoma or Ohio State.
And I mean, they gave you a chance to be in every ball game, and they gave you a chance to win every ball game, but then it came back to the offense, and we all know what happened there.
Now, once again, and I've said this before a couple weeks ago when we were talking about whoever Nebraska was playing that week, you can rely or lean on your defense to every now and then to keep you in a game, but over time, when you rely on something over and over and you keep leaning, and all 11 guys on the offensive side of the ball are basically leaning on the defensive side to keep them in a game every single week. You can't expect them to pick you up and win you a ball game all 10 weeks, every single week. That's just outrageous.
The offense needs to do its part. The special teams need to do their part. Everybody needs to work in unison to win a game. It can't be one side of the ball winning every single game, because after a while it's going to get tiring, and there are going to be mistakes made, and then you're going to get upset because you're like, oh, that was the one side of the ball that we could trust, and well, they're tired. All right, they need a rest.
Yeah, and now here we are. Okay, so you're losing those 8 guys for sure that I mentioned earlier. 3 from the secondary, 2 from the linebacker room, and 3 from the line. And now here you are. And yes, let me backtrack a little bit. Yes, some of the guys that will fill up those roles. Caleb Tanner will play a big part. Casey Rogers on the line. Quentin Newsome. You still have a guy like Tyreek Johnson, the transfer from Ohio State that didn't see any time last year.
Noah Pola-Gates, a 4-star.
Nadab Joseph. You have guys. We have names in those rooms that we know will kind of fill some voids.
Mouse Farmer.
But you don't know necessarily the production level. And to this point, I'm not ready to put a guy like Casey Rogers and Damian Daniels in the same category. And I hope that by the end of next season, I'm saying they're in the same category. But right now, you saw the big gap that Damian Daniels.
You saw what happened in the final game.
You saw what happened when Damian Daniels wasn't out there.
Yeah, you saw what happened in the final game. Iowa was like, all right, we're going to the middle. We're going right behind big ol' All-American center Tyler Linderbaum, however you say his last name. I apologize for butchering it, but they're going right behind him because in the middle, you don't have big ol' Daniels. So whoever's there, we're going to move him out of the way and we're running right behind him.
And so it makes me wonder then, because then you look at the offensive side of the ball, and you're going to be without Adrian Martinez. Yes, it really sounds like they're going to be bringing in a transfer quarterback. I know I saw that they offered Miles Brennan. The whole staff was down in Louisiana yesterday offering Miles Brennan and talking to him, the former LSU quarterback who has 1 season left. But you're without Adrian Martinez. Gabe Ervin is coming off of an injury. You lose Samori Toure. You lose Austin Allen. And you'll probably lose other people because of attrition. And, okay, like a Savion Morrison. And now you look at your offensive line, and Cam Jorgen's still a question mark right now. He hasn't left yet, but it seemed like last week it was almost like he's going to the draft.
Seems like he's leaning more towards NFL draft than coming back.
And so you have a lot of question marks all over the field.
You don't know what you're going to do at the tackle positions.
Including your top 50 defense. It's not just an offensive thing that and once again, this was where it really felt like they needed to get something going this last season. And I know hindsight's 2020 and we can't continue to say that, but man, you look at how this program is going to look next year, and now they bring in a couple new coaches, including Mark Whipple, who the way that they're recruiting the quarterback, let's say it is Miles Brennan. Let's go with Miles Brennan.
We'll just say Miles Brennan is the quarterback. We're not saying,
yes.
We're not saying Miles Brennan will be the quarterback at Nebraska. All right. This is a hypothetical, but right now we're just going to say next year it's Miles Brennan at quarterback.
And so here's the thing. He's not an Adrian Martinez. This offense, this is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, what is Nebraska's goal next season? What is their goal on offense? What is their goal on defense? What is their target as a program? Because here's the sad part about it all is there's no answer. Nobody knows. Are we 100% sure that Scott Frost knows? Are we 100% sure that anybody on this coaching staff knows?
Not really.
That's the thing, is it's okay to have smaller goals to then lead into a bigger goal. But when we don't even know what expectations are next season and all those, the metrics and everything, when we don't know that, how are we supposed to trust that this staff knows it? How are we supposed to trust anything that this staff says right now after the last 4 years? And when you kind of take a step back and you piece everything together and look at how well this season could have been for Nebraska, should have been for Nebraska, when you look at all those one-score games, and yes, I'm one of those people that say eventually it needs to be about winning ball games. Well, that should have been this season. You should have beaten Iowa. You should have beaten Michigan State. This season was set up the best yet in your time here at Nebraska.
You set yourself up for victories and you threw them all away. You set yourself up to have a winning record, to turn the program around, and to tell yourself and to tell, the fan base and everybody that had been doubting you, look, I told you it would happen. I told you we'd be able to turn this around. That was this season. And we're not just saying that to try and make you feel better, make you feel worse about how this season went. But the fact that you lost 8 one-score games, and if you look at some of those, a couple of them, there was like 2 of them where you didn't really have a lead. You were just really close the entire time. But some of them, mostly the Michigan State game and the Iowa game, you had a lead. You had a lead late in the game, and you let it go.
And that's where, and here's this on the text line. 402-464-5685. It says fans aren't entitled to know. I would disagree. And now there's a line that you cannot cross. I will admit that fans don't need to know every single part of it. But here's the thing: is in the first offseason press conference from Scott Frost, it was or after Iowa or whenever, I can't remember exactly the press conference. I can go back if you guys really need me to. But it was, and Rico and I had a full conversation on this. And it was, everybody knows what we need to do around here. That's what Scott Frost said. It's not what we said. That's what the coach said. Is everybody knows what we need to do around here. Which, yes, it's win, right? It's win.
Just win, baby.
But how much accountability is going to be held? Is how accountable are coaches and players right now? And that's like I'm asking questions, and this is where I'm leaving it open for interpretation. Is I'm genuinely curious because I'm not sure anybody knows. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, but that's a little alarming.
Now, when Scott Frost said that, I took it as everybody in the athletic department and on the football staff and the players knew exactly what they needed to do to get this turned around, and they knew exactly what they needed to do to keep their jobs and, to do all of this and get this program to the place that they wanted it to get to. And I slightly agree with fans aren't entitled to know everything, but I do believe that there are certain things that a football coach, that a football staff should allow the fans to know. And the part of the contract that Trev and Frost have right now where, they have that first 6 games and then, the buyout, is cut in half or however that's worded. Nobody that can stay between those two. That's fine. Nobody needs to know that exact part of that. But I think that, maybe let people in on what you are going for this next season. Not exactly a win total, but just what you are looking for with this program. Because you're just, when you're just like, yeah, we all know what we need to do. And everybody's saying, yeah, you just need to win. And it's like, well, Trevor's like, yeah, he's a hometown guy. We gave him an extra year. That's why, But then is that saying that, winning isn't important? Is that saying that winning isn't the number one thing that you wanted to do? Because if that is, then you wouldn't have given him this extra year.
And here's this. So we get this off the text line. The text disappeared, but I was able to read it before it disappeared. It said something about, you guys are so negative, I'm done with you. Here's the thing. Is everything I've said is stuff that you can point to. The 3-9 is something that you can point to. The fact that Nebraska was up 21-6 against Iowa is something that you can point to. When I was saying quotes from Scott Frost press conferences, that's things that you can point to and say that this happened. It's not me and Rico over here doing hypotheticals about, if Nebraska finishes this next season 2-10, what's going to happen? That's not what we're doing.
Nebraska had not given up a first down in the entire second half to Michigan State and was up 5 points, something along those lines, with around 2 minutes left in the game.
And once again, and if on the topic of being negative, that's not what we're here to do. That's not what I'm personally here to do. I'm personally here to say, hey, this is the stuff that we're able to point to on paper and say it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And somebody says, this is the truth negative. Hey, once again,
the truth is the truth. It depends on how you take it.
That's an open for an interpretation kind of thing.
The truth is that this team only won 3 games. The truth is that Scott Frost has only won 15 games in his 4 seasons at Nebraska.
14 of those with Adrian Martinez.
The truth is that he fired his almost entire offensive staff, brought in, Mickey Joseph from LSU and Mark Whipple, who was on his final year of his contract at Pitt, and has brought in Donovan Raiola with a short resume. That is the truth.
And hey, if you're in that line of 3-9 or 4-8 or 5-7 would have been positive, then hey man, stay in your lane. I'm good with that. That's just not where I'm at. I'll flat out say it. 5-7, 6-6, not good. Not good enough. I don't think that's very positive. But hey, once again, you're in your lane, I'm in mine. We're all good there, and we'll respect. Like, that's the whole thing. Is like, as long as there's that line of respect, that's all fine. It's all good. Like, I'm not worried about it. Somebody says this: losing in a landslide would point to talent. Losing, close games points to coaching. Next year won't be different. Somebody else says this: unnamed texter, please don't change a thing that you guys are doing. The truth hurts, so people are reluctant to hear it. Don't bow down to the cult of Frost. Zach says this: what is there positive to talk about?
There's positive things.
Yeah, and trust me, you guys know me and Rico good enough. There will be a time in middle of February where it's okay. Nebraska football. There's a way that this team goes 10-2. Like there will
I
be
will
those
give
days.
I will give you plenty of positivity after signing day and after the transfer portal gets through with whatever it's doing. I'll give you positivity tomorrow after Nebraska volleyball beats Illinois. I'll give you positivity when the Nebraska women's team moves to 10-0. Like, I'll give you positivity. But right now we're talking football, we're talking men's basketball, and as of right now for those two programs, not much positivity going around.
And trust me, I please, when you're hearing us talk about this almost every day, number one, because we truly care about Husker men's athletics like football and basketball, but it's not because we're cheering for them to be bad. This job is a lot more fun.
We want them to be good
when we are winning. Fat Phil says that's not truth. Those are facts. Bingo. The
Aren't
truth
facts
is,
and the truth kind of like, if I give you a fact and that fact is true, that makes it the truth.
The truth is Nebraska football and basketball are horrible, is what an unnamed texter says. I want to continue getting to some of your texts. We can continue this conversation on the other side. Once again, we'll take nominations for our winner of Beatrice Bakery's Care Basket this week up until the next segment. We will award that recipient next, and we'll wrap up the show on the happy hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. Our holiday gift card special is back. When you purchase a $50 gift card, receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
You know what? I'll get the bill.
Wow, are you sure?
Yep, your dinner is on me tonight, bestie.
Thank you. That is so sweet of you.
You know what else is sweet? My members-owned credit card rewards. Between the cash back, Amazon rewards, and no hidden fees, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Hey, wait a minute. That's why you're buying dinner?
Maybe. Life is sweeter with a credit card from Members Own. Apply for your new card today at membersowncu.org. Limitations may apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. Our holiday gift card special is back. When you purchase a $50 gift card, receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
If you're thinking about a new career, improving your job skills, or just continuing your love of lifelong learning, Southeast Community College's Spring Continuing Education Catalog is hitting your mailbox soon. It's chock full of options. Learn how to write a compelling grant application, become a pharmacy tech, or even learn to ride a motorcycle. We even provide the bike. Check out your catalog or go to southeast.edu/continuing education. SCC, your path to possible.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
Look around your house. You don't really have any room for Christmas gifts. Things are stuffed into closets, and your garage is a mess too. For a unique gift this holiday, call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for their Christmas organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that will be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. Storage options for cabinets, monkey bars shelving, or slat wall. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638. That's 730-1638.
Go ahead, let it sleet, let it slush, and let it snow. Because the pros at T.O. Haas Tire are ready to help you with a new set of tires guaranteed to get you through it all. Like the complete line of Michelin tires, including the X-Ice Snow Tire. And right now, you can get $70 back when you buy any 4 new Michelin tires at the T.O. Haas Tire near you.
T.O. Haas, Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
Nick Sainert.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Enrique Alvarez Clary.
If any of you need anything at all, too bad. Deal with your problems yourselves like adults.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here one final time on the happy hour. Appreciate you guys engaging all hour long. We'll get to all of your texts. We will read them.
We'll try to get to all of them.
Yeah, we'll try. We got a
limited amount of time.
We got a couple minutes left. I talked about it last segment, and I appreciate you guys sending in your submissions for the Beatrice Bakery Care Basket giveaway here that we do on our show every Thursday. This one nomination that we had was for Morning Hope here in Lincoln. So what is Morning Hope? It's a grief support network for children, teens, and young adults and their families who have experienced serious illness or death. So this week's recipient of our Beatrice Bakery Care Basket giveaway is to the good folks at Morning Hope. So we will contact them, get them all the details. So we appreciate everything that you guys do over there at Morning Hope, and we will be in touch with you shortly. So thanks again to Beatrice Bakery for allowing every show here on The Ticket to do that. Once again, send in your submissions for the rest of the shows at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We will be able to get you guys in that way. All right, let's get a couple of these here, because that same person that mentioned earlier about how we were negative, he asks, Grandpa Rick asks, what's the answer? And that's where I'm going back to all this about, this is why I want to leave it open for you guys. I'm a big, thinking of all the options or the different angles of how to attack things. I'm all for that stuff. And that's how I kind of want this show to be translated to you guys. And that's why I want to give you all these thoughts and then let y'all just kind of run wild with it, because I want to see how you guys would attack it and all the angles that you guys feel. So, and like I said, and somebody else says this here, once again, we can talk about the wins. This is a pretty long paragraph, so bear with me. I want to get this in though. Is it your job to say 2-10 is not good enough? That's your opinion. I don't feel like it's your job. It's not the Barstool's athletic directors out there job to tell everybody 2-10 is not good enough. Are good hires, we're going to skip this.
And who are good hires and who are bad hires? That's the coach's job, and they will be held accountable for it by the actual athletic director. And it's the athletic director's job to say if 2-10 is good enough or not good enough. Let the coaches coach, let the athletic directors direct, be a fan and support them, or don't be a fan and move on to something else.
And once again, and we can go back on the podcasts, and once again, that's that level of respect. Once again, thank you again for engaging. We really do appreciate it, because I like to hear opinions. But once again, like I just said last segment, personally for me, 3-9, 4-7, or 4-8, 5-7 isn't good enough. Now that very well could be different than from what Trev Alberts is saying, and that's totally fine. But for me, 3-9 was not good enough. 2-10 is definitely not good enough. But once again, like I specifically said last segment, if that's how you guys feel, then that's totally fine. You're in your lane, I'm in my lane, and that's perfectly fine.
But like you said, I'm going to give you my opinion, and my opinion is 2-10 is not going to be good enough next year. If you're in year 5 and you're only winning 2 games, I mean, you got to figure that out. I'm not going to tell Trev how to do his job, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be like, look, man, you got a head coach in year 5 who's only winning 2 games. I don't know about this.
Think about that. If Scott Frost goes 2-10 next year, his career record at Nebraska through 5 years is going to be 17-39. bigger picture. What's that mean for
Doesn't
the
seem
program
great.
going forward? What's that mean for the program going forward? This one says that our unnamed texter Kyle says this year has to be a 6-win season at least, or else Frost is gone. I believe he can get the job done, but the team needs to finish games and not let them slip away, because that has been an ongoing thing in Frost's 4 years at Nebraska. Keyword finish. I'm on board with that, Kyle. We're all cheering for Nebraska to finish as well. It would have been really, really good, and it would have been a lot better to finish the season on a win against Iowa.
Unnamed text says it's that new generation of participation trophies. You know, if you want to talk about participation trophies, I got somebody who's a big fan of participation trophies. He was actually just tweeting about it on Twitter. His name is Jordan Burroughs.
Ooh.
Jordan Burroughs was saying that people who hate participation trophies need to not be so angry about things. Participation trophies are fine.
We can continue this conversation tomorrow. Once again, appreciate you guys a ton for all your engagement. I apologize if we didn't get to your texts. Please keep them coming. We appreciate it big time. Once again, thanks to everybody at Morning Hope for everything they do with young children and their families. Nebraska volleyball plays Illinois tonight at 8:30 p.m. on ESPNU against the Fighting Illini, and they play the winner of Washington and Texas on Saturday. That is all for today. One-on-one with DP live from the Mercado is next. See ya.
Adios.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding